Well, about 5:36 now, and lots of us feel like our phones and devices are listening to us, maybe at home or in the car. Things we're talking about magically turn up on our feeds almost immediately. Well, that's technology for you, right?
And there's a new kind of tech snooping at the workplace we're about to introduce to you. Unless you're self-employed, it's very likely your company is monitoring your every digital move at the office and even at home if you work remotely.
From the websites you're visiting to, in some cases, peeking through the camera on your laptop. It happens enough, there's even a name for it, bossware. Our Stephanie Valderrama looked into that for us and is joining us now with more. Steph?
Good morning, Matt and Sam. Have you ever done a little online shopping while you're on the clock? Maybe you paid your bill online before you forgot and then get charged that late fee. Well, it seems like something any of us would do, but could that kind of thing get you written up, passed over for a promotion, or even fired? Well, the I-Team went looking for answers.
So I've been working remote like everybody for the last 3 years.
Ken Cornelius works for a bank from home. Logging into the virtual office for the day is certainly a process.
We have to go through a couple screens that we have to sign on to. And one of the screens does mention that the activity on this laptop is monitored and that you're accepting that agreement. So there obviously any video, any keystrokes, any websites, all that obviously is monitored.
Boca Raton-based employment attorney Brett Schneider tells the I-Team it's perfectly legal for your boss to monitor what you do on your work computer.
Can companies put software on employees' computers to see what they're doing?
The short answer is yes, it's legal.
In its simplest sense, bossware gives bosses the ability to monitor and record what their employees are doing.
Web expert Craig Akernoff says nothing is off limits.
Bossware could track your keystrokes, it can monitor your emails, your chats. In its most advanced form, it can even remotely access your webcam and see what you're doing at that same moment and listen to what you're doing as well.
Would there be a way to know that your boss is looking at what you're looking at?
A lot of times these pieces of software or these insertions into your computer are hidden. So they're on the computer, but it would take like a cybersecurity expert to be able to go in and find them.
Here in Florida, it's against the law for anyone, including your employer, to record audio conversations without permission. And even video recording workers without their knowledge could land a company in legal hot water.
You don't want to have an issue, especially with a camera issue, where an employee is, not fully dressed. And there's an invasion of privacy.
According to a Digital.com study of more than 1,000 employers, 60% use bossware to track activity and productivity of remote workers. Schneider says companies should let workers know their digital activity will be monitored, the same way managers keep track of performance, like how you participate in meetings. And to be clear, whatever bossware reveals about your digital habits can absolutely be used against you, even get you fired.
To the extent that an employer determines that an employee is not being as productive as they should be, an employer can absolutely take disciplinary action, can negatively evaluate the employee's performance.
Schneider says most companies are comfortable with some personal use of the work computer, but it really depends on the industry you're in, what websites you visit, and how much time you spend on non-work activity.
As long as I'm not doing anything like online gambling or internet porn or something like that, you're not going to have a problem.
Here are some more interesting numbers. The same Digital.com study of employees who are being monitored found 60% spend 3 or more hours a day on personal business. We're talking almost half the workday. And while the same research revealed only a small number of companies don't tell staff they're being monitored, once Big Brother does start watching, the vast majority fired at least one person based on what they learned.
Look, you're never safe. If you're using a work device, use it for work. Don't use it for play. Don't use it for leisure.
Certainly the best advice when it comes to separating your work and your personal life, especially these days. Also, make sure to read the employee handbook so you know the rules of your workplace, and don't do anything on your work computer that you wouldn't want your boss to see. And maybe don't spend all day on websites like TikTok.
Yeah.
Liz, the new PBSO body cam policy is spelled out in this 13-page document. PBSO wants to make sure in the heat of the moment, when things are happening quickly, deputies do not forget to activate their body-worn camera and make sure they're recording what's happening.
Show me your hands up. Keep your hands up. Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
When PBSO deputies encounter situations like this one, some deputies will be wearing body cams.
I still got a black male wearing jeans and a hoodie.
Do not touch that gun! Keep your hands
Put your hands up!
PBSO joins a growing list of law enforcement agencies using body cams, and often they show violent incidents.
I'm going to open this door. You keep your hands out the window. Step out. Keep your hands. Hands. Do not.
In the policy, it will tell them when they have to have it on, right, and when they're allowed to turn it off. But if the deputy draws his gun, it automatically goes on. The PBSO body cam policy lists nearly 20 incidents when deputies must activate their body cam, including vehicle stops, stranded motorist assistance, pedestrian stops, citizen contacts that become adversarial, calls for service, foot pursuits, arrests, and use of force. Once activated, the body cam will not be turned off until the incident is over. Deputies don't have to activate their body cam while writing a report, conducting surveillance, or when a victim refuses to provide a statement if recorded. The policy also says, quote, with the exception of victim statements, PBSO members are not required to initiate or cease recording an event, situation, or circumstance solely at the demand of a citizen. The body cams can also live stream, enabling a supervisor miles away to watch what's happening live. When we have an incident where demands that they're going to have to maybe intervene, live streaming lets them see in real time what's going on. The policy says examples where live streaming may be authorized include a deputy calls for backup, a deputy has been seriously injured, a PBSO vehicle is involved in a significant collision, or when a deputy at an incident fails to respond by radio or phone. The live streaming is important because it gives us an opportunity to control the outcome, hopefully. And the PBSO policy says any body cam video that's not needed as evidence will only be retained by PBSO for 90 days. The policy also says that deputies are not allowed to erase, modify, or tamper with any body cam recording. Only the authorized members at the sheriff's office are allowed to erase or modify body cam video.
So we continue following a tragic story out of the Treasure Coast tonight. An 85-year-old woman dies following an alligator attack while she was walking her dog.
This happened around noon in the Spanish Lakes Fairway, a retirement community off I-95 northwest of the city of Fort Pierce. And that is where we find CBS12.
Yeah, investigators say they feel for the family of that woman and the woman's friends who witnessed the attack. Now, the victim's neighbors tell us they are now keeping a closer eye out for gators as they do see them quite often. Those living in this Fort Pierce retirement community are saddened and shocked after learning one of their neighbors, an 85-year-old woman, was attacked and killed by an alligator while walking her dog Monday afternoon.
Very shocking. I mean, it's just amazing. It's something that can happen locally in this situation with an alligator.
Videos from St. Lucie County deputies show the moment after a trapper wrangled the 10-foot gator they believe attacked the woman with her dog. A team of deputies and Florida Fish and Wildlife later joined in to take it away. Investigators say the dog survived. The woman who died has not been identified as of Monday night.
Our deputies responded in addition to FWC, and we assisted with their investigation. We assisted with our helicopter spotting an alligator.
Neighbors either walked or drove their golf carts to see the area where the violent encounter occurred themselves. They say it's normal to see alligators in this community.
I'm very sad, that she passed away. It's a shame, you don't want to see anybody die, but I just feel like, she shouldn't maybe have gotten that close to the bank.
Many also say larger gators are often removed from the property.
We count them and we stop and take pictures, as long as you don't go near them, but she must have come up on it. They will not chase you usually. They move around at night. We came home at 8 or 9 o'clock. You'll see them walking from pond to pond. We just have to be vigilant and watch out for them.
While Florida is known to be home for gators, attacks are statistically rare, according to FWC. And the chances of being injured in an unprovoked gator attack are 1 in 3.1 million. And alligators may be considered a nuisance if it's at least 4 feet in length. Now, there is a hotline to call if you have any concerns. We have that number on our website, CBS12.com.